Hey, it's Drybear. One of the coolest and most unique aspects of Dragon's Dogma 2 is the ancient goddess of riddles, the Sphinx. And while there have been many depictions of the Sphinx in ancient history and mythology, Dragon's Dogma 2 takes a pretty unique approach. But not only does the Sphinx in Dragon's Dogma 2 leave the internet with confused arousal, she also provides a bunch of amazing rewards, including port crystals that you'll want to pick up. So in today's video, we're going to go through all 10 of the riddles the Sphinx can give you, as well as their solutions and rewards, how to find her in her 2 separate locations, and everything else you might need to know. First, to find the Sphinx, you will find her at the beginning of the game, in the first half of the game, just north of the checkpoint rest town. So in Vermund, if you start at the checkpoint rest town and go north here to this road and take the fork to the left, you will find your way over through this road to the ancient battleground. If you were to follow the castle on the left side, go and climb up the castle here, you will find a Cyclops and a dragon fighting in this area here. You can just ignore them if you want, or you can kill them if you want some XP. But you can climb up the castle and make your way through this way up into the World Send Cavern. Going through this cave will leave you northeast toward the exit of that cavern, through the ancient ruins, to the Shrine Corridor, through the Shrine Corridor exit, and finally to the Mountain Shrine. The path is pretty straightforward until you make it to the castle. You just want to follow the road and then take the left side up to the castle, and then run through the castle. And if you don't have this shortcut unlocked, which if this is your first time arriving to the Sphinx, it's likely you don't have the shortcut ladder down, just go past the shortcut ladder, go down below, and then find your way back up through the other side, and just remember to kick the ladder down before continuing. Now, I recommend bringing a port crystal with you before you arrive here with the Sphinx, and you'll want to place one down just outside of the Mountain Shrine area where she stands, so that you can always return here, because you're going to have to return here after going and solving her riddles. Speak with her, and she'll give you these crazy, creepy animations that for some reason I just love. She's such a freak, it's crazy. And then she'll have 5 riddles available for you, and behind her will be 5 chests with rewards in them that you can collect. She will pose the riddle to you, and you will have to answer it by either giving her an answer, bringing something to her, or giving her an item. The first riddle is the riddle of eyes, and she will tell you to look around and keep focus on what's happening, and then she will show you an entrance to a dungeon right next to the Mountain Shrine over here, where before you talked to her and triggered the riddle of eyes, it was closed by a stone wall. If you head inside, once she opens it and looks straight up, so just above the entrance, there will be a chest, and inside the chest will be a file to the Sphinx. This is the one that you want to collect and give it to her, the sealing file, and you can use it for the other riddles or not, but this is the item she's looking for. What she wants you to do is some tomfoolery. She wants you to go through this whole dungeon, killing the hobgoblins and the ogre at the end and collecting chests, and you can if you want the loot. It's not crazy good loot, but it is experience and a whole process if you want to go through it, but what you're looking for is right above the entrance as soon as you enter into the dungeon. Come back and give her the sealing file, and you will complete the riddle of eyes. Next is the riddle of madness, and she asks you to bring her your most beloved person that you have in this world. And you have 2 options here. You want to bring her either the person that you have the highest affinity with. Usually for a lot of people, it's going to be either Ulrika, Wilhelmina, or for some reason, the elf guy for the Trial of Archery gets a lot of affinity early on in the game. But find the one that you have the highest affinity with and bring it to her. And you can do this either by using the sealing file that she gave you to trap the person inside the bottle, like there's some kind of genie, or you can go find them, grab them, put them up on your shoulder, and while you're holding them on your shoulder, you can use a fairy stone, and they will carry with you to your destination. So you can pick up the person, use the fairy stone, go to the Mountain Shrine, put them down on the pedestal, and while they're standing on the pedestal, talk to the Sphinx and answer the riddle. However, the easiest solution is going to be your main pawn, which always has maxed out affinity for you, because they love everything that you do and the ground that you walk on. So if you want to, you can just grab your main pawn, put them on the platform, and use that as a stand-in. For the riddle of eyes, you will get a full Wakestone, and for the riddle of madness, you will get a port crystal. Now, if you haven't put a port crystal down here in front of the shrine yet, you'll want to do that here, but it is a nice reward to grab. Next is the riddle of wisdom, and this one is possibly the most silly riddle that she offers you. She says that she is a child who is missing her parent, and she wants to be reunited. And the answer to this riddle is actually quite silly, in that you just have to bring her one of the Capcom official pawns from the Rift that has the name Sphinx Parent, Sphinx Father, or Sphinx Mother. You've probably already seen some of these pawns walking around, but you want to be careful because there's a lot of trolls out there that have named their main pawn one of these names and they show up in the Rift, and it only works, I believe, if you use the Capcom official pawn, which means that if you look at the main, like the Arisen for the pawn itself, it'll say Capcom in all capitals. If you're having trouble with this, you can use the shrines outside of Melv and outside of Harv, which always have these pawns in them, and if you really can't find the correct one, you can disable network features, which will disable public pawns or other people's pawns and use only Capcom pawns, and it'll be a lot easier to find one of these. But you just need to add this pawn to your party, return to the mountain shrine, and put that pawn down on the pedestal and talk to the Sphinx, and you will solve the riddle for her. And for the Riddle of Wisdom, you will receive 1,200 Rift Crystals. For the Riddle of Conviction, she will ask you to give her any of the items that you most cherish. She basically wants your most valuable item in your inventory, and the solution here is literally any item that you want to give her, she will accept and it will be correct. And she will tell you that when you give it to her, she will confirm, are you sure you want to give this to me, knowing that you may not get it back? And you say yes, and she will say, haha, very nice. She pulled a fast one, she pulled a tomfoolery on you. She will then give you back the item and then duplicate that item and put it in the chest behind her. So my recommendation for this is to take a port crystal and give it to her so that she will duplicate it and give you another port crystal, which is easily the most valuable item in the game. The Riddle of Rumination is one that has set the internet on fire because it is very, very unfair. She will tell you that the Seeker's tokens are valuable, but she will ask you if you remember the first secret token that you picked up. If you go back to the location where the first secret token was that you picked up, in its place you will find a Finder's token. You need to get this Finder's token, bring it back to her, and give it to her. The challenge is only open for 7 in-game days, so if you expend 7 in-game days and return to her, she won't accept it, or you don't have it, and you will fail the riddle. And since I'm testing this on New Game Plus, I went to the location of my first Seeker's token in my first playthrough, and the Finder's token was not there. It was the location of my first Seeker's token in New Game Plus that I had to remember. Luckily for me, I'm a content creator and I record everything, so I was able to go back and find where that Seeker's token was. But for the people that didn't remember, you might just be SOL for your first one. Just remember that if you miss this one on the first go around, you're going into New Game Plus. It's the first Seeker's token that you collect in New Game Plus that becomes your Finder's token location. And I'm not really sure what happens if you have all Seeker's tokens in your first playthrough and you go into New Game Plus and try to do this riddle. It may be possible that you won't be able to do it because they're already in the ground, but I digress. Now, some people report that they go to the location, their first Seeker's token, and the Finder's token isn't there, though they reported that they were able to rest in an inn and they returned and they found the Finder's token there, or possibly there might be some bugs here, but you really just want to remember your first Seeker's token. If you miss it, it's not a huge deal, but you would just miss the solution for this specific riddle, and the reward for the Riddle of Rumination is 3 fairy stones and is the final riddle that you'll receive in this platform. Now, when you turn in the 5th riddle to her, she will say that she is done in this location and she will go to her new abode. And your next riddle, which is actually called the Riddle of Reunion, is to find her again, wherever she goes. You have 2 options here. Either you can go behind her and grab your reward and then go and find her next location, which I'll let you know where it is. Or another secret way to do this is you can just, as soon as she finishes the dialogue, jump on her back and she will take you to the new location. You can ride her through the skies all the way to the new location, which is the Frontier Shrine, which this time is going to be west of the checkpoint rest town. And honestly, if you have a port crystal here at the mountain shrine, rather than grabbing the final reward, getting on her back seems to be a little bit more prudent, because then you can fly to the new location, put down a port crystal, and then teleport to your whimsy, especially since that when you go back to the mountain shrine, if the last riddle you did was the Riddle of Rumination, you'll get 3 fairy stones anyway, and you'll be able to teleport back to the Frontier Shrine where she now resides, and for the second set of riddles. When you arrive, either riding on her back or coming to find her afterwards, she will tell you that that was the 6th riddle. It was called the Riddle of Reunion, and she will congratulate you for finding her in her new abode, and she will have a chest behind her which has 100,000 gold in it. She will then have 4 additional riddles that she will give you in a random order that you will have to complete in order to finish all of her riddles. The Riddle of Recollection will ask you how many of the riddles you've gotten correct in this current playthrough. So whether you're New Game Plus or not, is how many riddles you have correctly answered for her in this current playthrough. There's a very easy way to test this. You can go to quest settings in your main menu and it will tell you how many of the riddles you've correctly solved. You can also count the chests. You know how many chests you collected at the first mountain shrine, and you can see that you collected 1 for the Riddle of Reunion there inside of it, and the number of correct riddles counts and includes the Riddle of Reunion, so you want to add that to the total. So whatever the total is, if you got all of them correct and she gives you the Riddle of Recollection first, then the number will be 6, and you'll want to bring 6 of these statues just generally around her vicinity. You can't really fit them all on the platform, but as long as they're around her, she will count it, and she will give you the reward for that, which is going to be an unmaking arrow, a rare arrow that kills anything that it hits, but will automatically save the game when you fire it, so you want to hold on to this one for later. Another riddle she might give you is the Riddle of Contest. She will spawn an enemy, and then she'll be forcibly equipped a ring to you that lowers all of your stats. It doesn't really lower them enough to prevent you from killing it, and if you run to your pawns, they can help you anyways, but one of the easiest ways to deal with this enemy is just to stagger them, pick them up, and yeet them off a cliff, which will kill them instantly. So all you have to do is stagger them once, and then you can throw them off the cliff, and that will kill them. But as long as you kill the target and you don't die in the process, you will succeed the riddle and complete the Riddle of Contest. And the reward for this is very good. It is the Riddle of Contest Ring of Ambition, which gives you a boost to XP gained from killing foes, which is super nice if you're planning to just level up your character. Next, she might give you the Riddle of Differentiation, and this one is pretty straightforward, but a little strange. She will tell you that all humans look alike, and she wants you to differentiate between humans that might look the same, and she gives you an image of a human that you probably remember that you walked by and kind of reacted to in either positive or negative way. I think everyone tends to remember this NPC that was walking around, but she will show you an NPC of a man that has either wavy hair or straight hair. All you have to do is look at the hair. It's either going to be straight down bangs on the side of the head, or it's going to be wavy and curly and a little bit wild. Based on the hair type that you see, you will need to go to the checkpoint rest town and find this NPC. So if you have a straight-haired NPC, it's going to be Dante, a reference to Devil May Cry, and he will be on the north side of the checkpoint rest town. Pick him up, teleport back to the Frontier Shrine, put him down, and you will solve the riddle. If the image that she gave you had wavy hair, it's going to be Virgil, which is like his twin brother, and he is on the south side of the checkpoint rest town. So just go to the other side of the gate, find him, pick him up, ferry stone over to the Frontier Gate Shrine and give him, and that will solve the Riddle of Differentiation. And the reward for this one is a decent weapon for the Trickster, the Whimsical Daydream. And the last of the riddles she may randomly give you in the random order at the second shrine is going to be the Riddle of Futility, and this one is a huge pain if you don't know about it ahead of time. She will tell you that she likes to see you suffer, and she will spawn in a vase next to you that is very fragile and fractured already, and she wants you to pick it up and carry it all the way to Bak Batal without breaking it. If for whatever reason you get staggered or bumped or damaged or someone else strikes it, the vase will break and shatter to the ground, and you will fail the riddle. And because you can't fireman carry it, you actually can't use fairy stones while you're holding it either. So she's asking you to hold this very fragile object and walk the entirety of the Batal region down to Bak Batal, avoiding monsters, jumping, dodging, and not getting it broken, which is basically impossible. So unless you want to do the impossible Iron Man run of bringing that all the way down to Bak Batal, the next best thing is going to be bringing the person that you're supposed to bring it to the vase instead of grabbing the vase and bringing it to them. And if you set the riddle quest as your main priority, you will see that this NPC is marked on your map in Batal. So travel to Batal, find this person right in front of the Sphinx mural. Their name is Moritz, and your option is either to bring the vase to him or bring him to the vase. And I recommend bringing him to the vase. Just shoulder him, bring him down the stairs so you can use a fairy stone, teleport him to the Frontier Shrine, and drop him off near the vase, not on top of it, so he doesn't accidentally step on it and break it. But if you put him near it, the dialogue will trigger automatically, he will disappear, and you will be able to talk to the Sphinx and solve the last riddle, which gives you the Eternal Bond Ring, which is a gift you can give to any NPC, which should, I believe, max out their affinity instantly. And that is all 10 of the riddles, but there is one more reward that you can receive from the Sphinx, and the only way to do this is to kill the Sphinx where she stands. Once she is done servicing all 10 riddles, whether you solve them all or not, she will take her leave and start flying away. And the only real way to do this is to switch to the Archer vocation and fire the Unmaking Arrow at her to destroy her. And when you kill her, she will drop a key that opens the big chest behind her, and inside will be an Eternal Wakestone, which can res a lot of NPCs in rapid succession, so is a pretty valuable item, and as far as we know is the only eternal item that exists inside of Dragon's Dogma 2 as of right now. And that's it. That's all 10 riddles plus the final chats for the Sphinx. If you have other questions or comments, leave them down below. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.